Greetings everyone, let's go for game 2 of this series, shall we? Once more, taken from the FXOpen Invitational number 2, you're gonna have a clash between these two players, spawning here on the north side of the Zelnaga Caverns. You're gonna have Cloud, representing his team Meteor Makers, Italian player living in Germany currently, and he's gonna be facing once more against this yellow Protoss, oGsMC, 2 times champion of the GSL. Pretty impressive stuff, the only player in the history of Starcraft 2 to actually be able to do that, and well, maybe in the future you're gonna have more, but for now he's the single one and that shows a lot, and he's just a macro beast and a huge Protoss player, quite intimidating to play against him. And actually he's going for something really quirky here, because he went for that pylon, proxy pylon really close to his opponent's base, allowing him to warp in units, but oh no, he's not gonna warp in units, he's gonna warp a gateway instantly there. Yeah, he's gonna build the gateway straight into his opponent's main base, and this is really unorthodox, something that I wasn't expecting at all, forcing obviously Cloud to pull a lot of workers out of the line to start poking at this gateway with the fusion cutters. This is gonna take a while, as you might imagine, and meanwhile the probe's still roaming around, probably checking if the workers are gonna be able to put down this gateway. I'm sure that he's gonna have to transition into something else. I'm not assuming that he wants to actually place a gateway here, especially with all of these SCVs, and actually establish this gateway right under his opponent's nose. So I mean, there's no surprise effect here, and he's gonna get finished, instantly cancelled like on the last second, and being annoying enough to try once more, one gateway, pulling once more the SCVs from the line from Cloud, from the mineral line. And I do see a result here. As you can see, Cloud has more workers, but the income is far under what MC is getting. But I mean, we're so early on this game, I'm not expecting MC to take much profit, much benefit out of the income, unless he's preparing some kind of surprise. I guess I'm gonna just sit down and watch, because I never seen this being done before. I'm sorry, but I didn't. And meanwhile we have Cloud finishing his barracks, so he's gonna actually have some Marines to come out and start shooting down this gateway if the SCVs are not able to finish it off, but seems like they're doing just fine. Cloud even pulling some of them back into the mineral line, and this one is gonna get finished. No, last second cancel once more. MC just trying to be annoying and pesky, and well, I guess he got it. I mean, at least for now, if that was his intention, it worked. He was annoying, but I'm not sure exactly what was the basic profit, the practical profit that he took from actually doing this. This pylon is gonna now get shot by the first Marine that came out of those racks, and they're gonna start evolving their openings, I guess. It didn't pay off, I would assume, unless MC is planning something ahead, but for now, as you can see, racks and picking up the first gas, while inside MC's base, we're gonna have the gateway popping out the first Zealot, and it's gateway into Cybernetics core, so a fairly standard opening there, not much going on. This pylon is gonna get finished off, just to make sure he's not gonna get any warp-in units later on in the game. This Marine has a lot of work ahead of him, obviously. Meanwhile, on MC side, there it is, Cybernetics core getting finished, so he's actually transitioning into a fairly standard and normal opening for a Protoss player. But the problem is how late he's doing this. I'm not sure if he's that late currently, but he might be paying the bill for attempting and spending the minerals early on to try to establish those gateways on his opponents on Cloud's main base. But seems like that Cloud is just answering back, and what he's doing is he's gonna commit himself to some economy game, strong economy here, getting the racks into a fast expand, this command center trying to get finished, and probably gonna get flown in to the natural expo and getting the second racks down. So Cloud knows that MC doesn't have much of an army, obviously, after all of those shebangs in the early stages of the game. He's even leaving his probe here to take a peek and notice when is Cloud attempting to come out of his ramp and grab his natural expo. But I mean, there's not much to assault Cloud here, and I think he just went and took the risk of going for the fast expand so he can establish his econ game on the mid and late game, be more stabilized and get a bigger income so he can produce a much bigger army. For now we're gonna have a small fight here, a small skirmish, an incursion by MC, taking a look at everything going on inside Cloud's base. He saw that he's preparing for the fast expand, as you can see. Now his Stalker finally is gonna get finished off, but obviously MC just spotted everything going on, checked the add-ons. There's a tech lab already getting the stim pack and the reactor getting attached to this rack, so I'm assuming we're gonna have plenty of bio incoming from Cloud. Actually 4 racks play quite soon, but I guess he's just planning ahead and probably gonna go mass bio. While on MC side, he went for a fairly fast robo, already getting the first observer out. Interesting approach actually, I would like to say, while Cloud is sending his Reaper all the way down and gonna take a look at what is MC doing. For now he's just going gateway into Cybernetics core into robotics facility, now with 2 gateways playing, and establishing his nexus on the Natural Expo. Not even half in, and now we're gonna have Cloud arriving with his Reaper, taking a look at what's going on here, noticing that his opponent is gonna go for the fast Expo as well, so he knows that he can keep just macroing and establishing his base. He won't be having much of an aggression into his main base, at least not for now. Salvaging his bunker, advancing with his units, so he's going to establish his natural expo and start benefiting from the income. Currently, as you can see, there's a huge gap here, with Cloud just boosting ahead, though the harvester count is fairly similar, and now playing out of 2 bases, it's going to be even increased, I'm assuming, especially with the mules pumping out there more and more minerals. Youngmin Chul, MC, has observers here, taking a look at what's going on his opponent's base. He actually did 2 observers, which I find quite interesting, but I mean, he's going to be able to keep tabs on both bases at the same time like this. And as you can see on Cloud side, getting more tech labs attached to his barracks, so probably going to have more marauders and some marines, I'm assuming, and starport and the factory getting built on the back. This starport being an M&M, I'm assuming he's gonna pump out some medivacs, and meanwhile here on MC side, finally his nexus on the Natural Expo is working. On his main base we're gonna have the robotics facility putting out the first Colossi. There it is, the robotics bay. Still I didn't saw any signs of an extended thermal lens. I guess we're gonna have it soon enough. And meanwhile, notice that Cloud wants to be aware of what's going on this corridor. He wants to be warned soon enough for him to react, so he's going all the way to establish supply depots very far away from his bases. Interesting approach here, but I mean, it is a way of noticing any kind of movement there, and as proximity detectors, it's gonna work wonders, I'm assuming. Also getting missile turrets already. Is he fearing DTs like it happened on the first match? I don't know, might be the reason. Extended thermal lens going on, first Colossi. Let's take a look at the armies now. Still we have Cloud leading the way, 81 versus 68, and on the unit composition, as you can see, 2 sentries, 2 stalkers, 1 colossi, 2 zealots, 16 marines and 7 marauders, so he's gonna go heavy bio here. There's the medivacs coming out, so basically what he did was he made the reactor attached to that factory and then made the switch. Kinda interesting, but a good solution there to produce those medivacs as fast as possible, while sending the factory for scouting duty. This is kinda curious, but hey, it's really a lot of HP to put down, so I guess he's gonna benefit from that, and the fact that you have armor there, armor 1, so I'm assuming that this factory will be able to fly all the way over, especially because MC doesn't have much of an army, so you won't be able to shoot down this factory fast enough. As you guys can see, and following the vision here from Cloud, he's just gonna enter the main base, spot all of the gateways, and see how far MC is on his build. But let me mention that from what we've been following since the beginning, MC is falling a bit behind. On his economy he's a bit behind, on his army as well, his supply is kinda low. Let's take a look again. Yeah, on the economy game he's going way ahead, and on the army count 118 against 96, so MC basically is trying to keep up his pace and probably try to just macro as fast as he can and as hard as he can, so he can mass up a proper army to clash against Cloud pretty soon. Notice that the moment that he spotted those Colossi roaming around the bases from MC, he went for Vikings, so we're gonna have plenty of Vikings to counter any kind of a Colossi play, I'm assuming. For now OGS only has a single Colossi, and he's decided to advance and make a push into his opponent's base before he has way too much for him to be able to handle. Oh, 3 Colossi here, impressive. I wonder if he's gonna get close to that critical mass, about 5 Colossi I would say. For now MC committing himself to plenty of macro once more, grabbing another nexus on his 3rd base, so 3 base Colossi pretty soon he's gonna be able to pump out a lot of units, while Cloud still working fine out of 2 bases and taking care of his Viking production, getting a lot of Vikings done. Look at how many he already has here. Unit composition already 6 Vikings, we have 4 Colossi here for MC. So this doesn't seem like it's gonna be an easy fight. Army composition once again, 145 against 126. Still Cloud, I'm sorry, leading the way. Was thinking about Clyde for some reason, I'm sorry. And meanwhile we just have MC pushing ahead, going north, taking a look, see if his opponent is trying to stretch himself probably to the rich mineral field, which he isn't. He's actually taking care of some upgrades for his infantry. Let me take a look at his main base. What does he have here for now? As you can see, there's the engineering bay. Also has the armory, probably to get even more upgrades soon enough. And meanwhile, we have MC just checking this big advance from Cloud. A massive army ensuing here. Gonna start shooting down the rocks and probably clearing the path so he can land his base here. He's actually making a command center on this hidden place behind the shrubberies. I wonder if he's gonna fly it out all the way here to the rich mineral field, but yeah, I'm assuming that. While the Nexus on the third base for MC just finished, and he just transferred some workers there. So income wise, I think he's gonna get balanced now. Actually, MC now leading the charge with more workers and more income, and the forces from both players are getting so close. I think you're gonna have a massive clash ensuing here pretty soon. Notice as well that MC now taking care of Blink for his Stalkers, also has the Forge there to get some upgrades, and has a ton of warp gates. How many for there? 8 warp gates there, so a good way of actually reinforcing his army pretty fast. And incoming an SCV, probably just checking, see the positioning of MC's army. Cloud flanking all the way, going south into the third base of MC. Ooh, this doesn't look good. This is gonna get sniped so fast. And massive explosion, boom, there goes the third base from MC with all his forces flanking here on the north side, trying to get some range, but the Vikings just shooting down the Colossi that are in range, and he needs to pull back. Notice that at the moment he's supply locked by a lot, so he needs some proxy pylons there. It's basically he can't produce anything now. There it is, proxy pylons coming out. Also he's positioning once more his observers, trying to make them placed in the proper position so he can notice all the movements from Cloud. And Cloud has a massive army here, 185 against 163, now 71, with a lot of Vikings taking the lead. The Vikings been working just brilliantly. Oh, Blink right on top of those Vikings, shooting one of them down, and now a massive clash ensues here. So many Colossi trying to melt away this Marauder force, but this big Viking wing here just wreaking havoc on all of the Colossi. Look at how fast he puts those Colossi down, and a big Marauder heavy Bioforce shooting down all of those Stalkers, not leaving much, forcing MC to pull all of his probes out of the mineral line and landing his Vikings to finish off the forces from MC, defeating him once again and winning this series by 2-0. Impressive by Cloud. Really, I'm really impressed, but awesome. Congratulations to him. Quite impressed with this move here. Very well countered. A nice, well-formed army. As you guys could see, he had the proper counters there. And the Blink Stalkers even attempt to have a nice blink to position themselves to grind down as much as possible that Viking wing, but they weren't able to shoot that many. And basically the end result was that it was way too much of a force to counter the bulk, the core of the death ball from MC, which were those I think it was 5 Colossi. Pretty impressive. Cloud even took his time to land on the rich mineral field. Meanwhile, on his base he was finishing, as you can see, the Ghost Academy, though we didn't have any ghosts on the unit composition, if I'm not mistaken, getting the Mobius reactor, and also I guess he was just planning ahead in case it was required. And well, boy, MC just lost here. Eliminated 2-0 on this series. Pretty impressive. And game done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you all later. Have fun.